there's people who beat to their own drum. And that is always really, like, I love that about a woman. When a woman beats to her own drum, it drives my dick crazy.
I know. It can be problematic, though, because I, as a person who beats my own drum, I have problems.
You know, it's funny, like, when I go to the UFCs, I don't know if you've seen it when you went to the UFC, but if you go to a couple UFC, you notice that there's a UFC outfit. There's just a UFC outfit. It's the guy on roids with tattoos, with a tight MMA shirt on, with a hot chick with steroids that looks like she just got pulled out of a strip club and somebody just spermed on her, and they get all dolled up for this fight. And that's
I love that, by the way.
And that's the
I love that.
And even when I look to my left and I see all these girls look the same, and I never understood they all have that same haircut. They got the designer jeans, the heels, the little cut-off T-shirt. They all shake their tits with a drink in their hand in between songs at the UFC. And you look at these girls and you're like, yeah, they're hot or whatever, but where's the creativity?
You know, Joey,
those
are the creative ones.
No.
Those are the
They
creative
fell into
ones.
a gap. And they're 30-something, and they don't have a husband, and they think it's cool. Like, I was looking at these two girls at the UFC that were the most interesting things in the world. They were two exotic dancers. I'm not going to call them strippers.
How do you know?
But
they
they had the outfit on, and I talked to them afterwards.
You know what? I see 12-year-olds with that outfit on. That's just how people dress.
They were fives. Both of them were fives. They had both of them have been come on, lit on fire. You could tell that they had crabs already. The one boyfriend, you know, I know the story. So it was two of them, two 28-year-old girls with...
Oh, now they're 28.
Well, whatever, 28 to 35, whatever the fuck they are, with an old guy that's like 70, and he's obnoxious and gross, which he paid for the tickets at the strip club.
So he's probably just 43.
Right. No, this guy was about 62. 61, and he's sitting with them, and he's loud, and he's like yelling, and they're looking at him, so you could see the deal already. I already know the deal. He went to the strip club, asked the one girl, but the girl said, I'll go with you if you could bring my girlfriend. Right. So he paid. Dog, I don't even need to fucking do the biography. It's you don't need to be a fucking fortune teller. I'm looking at this whole thing go down, and I'm looking at them on their phone all night, like giggling with each other, while this moron that just paid $800 for the tickets is there thinking he's cool because he's with these two fucking skanks.
Right.
And then I seen him later on when I got up, and one of the girls came up to me. That's how I knew that they were... You gotta come visit me. And she told me the name of the strip club. It wasn't even a Peppermint Rhino. It was like the Dead Rhino. Because that's where they both danced at, the Dead fucking Rhino. You understand me? Wasn't even... I've only been to a strip club one time in Vegas, and it was in 1991.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not a strip club guy, especially in Vegas. And I'm looking at these girls, and they're jiggling their titties, and they're in between, they're dinging the rap songs, and they're talking about guys in front of this old, poor fucking guy that thinks he's cool for hanging out with these two skanks. And I'm looking at them, and in a way, I felt bad for them. I'm like, you know what? If these girls, but who the fuck am I to feel bad for them? I was just thinking, like, they're not really taking their potential. You know, that's what I feel like. Like, you just sold yourself out to go to a fucking UFC fight with, like, my ex-girlfriend was into that shit. Like, a guy would meet her at the strip club, and she'd take a trip around the world with the guy, and then come back and say the guy had bad breath, his ass stunk, his feet stunk. You fucking took that trip without even talking to the guy.
You can have that experience with the guy that you meet at church, by the way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I mean?
It's just the creativity level of some people is always like, I never fell into that. Like, and you see it. You see 60% of the people at the UFC, that's their outfit.
Right.
And they're the toughest guy at their gym. You know, I know the breakdown. They're the toughest guy at their gym because I've listened to them when I'm sitting there with that girl going, I could fuck that guy up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're like, you're sitting in the audience. And, you know what I'm saying? So you see these guys and you're like, you know, it's just so weird. Where did the fucking computer go wrong? Where you have to do certain things to fit it. And that's the one thing that I always kind of hated. I'm not really like a rebel in that cause. And you have the same quality. You're not one of those girls. You don't have the jeans on with the nice haircut and your titties out bouncing. You know how the girls walk when they dance? They have that, strippers have that little short step.
Well, every
bounce.
once in a while, you try to bust that out. You know, I look at it like this. Who knows what that guy, even if he's a big jerk off and works out at the gym and is all tattooed up and 70, but now supposedly 68 years old.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the other. That's the one character. That's the sugar daddy.
But I look at those people, there's always going to be people like that. God bless them. And who doesn't love a person like that? Who knows what they had going on a week before. Like, maybe some guy, his wife just left him and she was a douche, and then he stumbles into a strip club and he meets two chicks, and these two chicks have kids at home, but they're probably, like, who knows what the story is. And maybe for them that was like a wonderful night. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong
Those
with
two
that.
girls went for a payday. I could see them at the restaurant. They were eating there. They weren't paying attention to the old guy. It's a fucking shame. It's a fucking shame.
It's people unite. That's what I'm saying.
It's not fucking people unite.
Well,
it's some guy
Who are they
that
hurting?
thinks it's
Who
cool.
are they
It thinks it's
hurting?
cool to go to a thing with those two girls when everybody knows. Like, I would hate to walk into a room where when people
Joey,
looked
you
at
don't
me.
think if you're 80 years old, if you're a guy and you look back and you had the experience, like, yeah, remember when I walked into a strip club and I was really drunk and I got those two chicks to go to a UFC fight with me? Remember how cool that was? Or would you rather be the guy that didn't have that memory at all?
I'd rather not have that memory at all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want
Just
to walk.
once?
It looks embarrassing to me.
Really?
It always has. When I was 20, I didn't like 20-year-old girls. You follow what I'm saying? When I was 20, deep down inside, I was like, what am I doing with this fucking bro? What's she talking about? I always liked older women. Do you follow me? And when I seen it, listen, love comes in mysterious ways. I'm no fucking Richard Gere, and I'm in love, and my wife loves me. Love comes in mysterious ways, but I wouldn't want to be love for faked.
Yeah.
That's what the moral of the story. I wouldn't want to be love for fake. It was a 2-hour mind fuck. I just couldn't do that. I don't know what it is. Like I told you, that time that they took me to that hooker house, that always disconnected that part of me.
Yeah.
Like it just shot me forever. Like to be intimate with somebody on a one-night basis or something. Like when I was coked up, I could fuck the crack hole and not give a fuck. I'd fuck a bum. You know what I'm saying? But there's something about like I never really
Rumors
understood.
start here.
Like I never really understood an old guy that went to a strip club and, I could see you paying for pussy or whatever, but you going out with this girl and walking around parading with this girl, like, I don't know. It just always felt weird to me.
Yeah. No,
Maybe
I
it's just me.
understand what you're saying. No,
It's
I
just
mean,
me.
it is, look, it is kind of creepy, but who knows what point in a person's life that you find yourself in that situation. Maybe at that night changed one of those girls' way of doing things. Maybe that guy had a heart attack the next day. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, everyone goes through something. You can't. It's not always a negative thing. Like, like everyone has their path and what lessons they need to learn. And I certainly learned a lesson of feeling like a piece of arm candy and not liking that feeling. But I had to learn that lesson. And who knows, what lesson was going on. And life is short. Fucking, if you're an old dude and you got money, do a stripper a favor. Go down to the strip club. Pick the one that doesn't get a lot of table dances. Pick that one, and make her night. What's wrong with that? And tip her big, and and don't be a jerk off.
This show brought to you by the NoHo CC Dispensary, 4854 Lancashire, and TaintedVisions.com for all your rock and roll and little statuette needs. You understand me? Go to TaintedVision.com, order something now, and tell them Beauty and the Beast sent you. We're back, bitches! Beauty and the Beast podcast.
Joey Diaz.
My sexy motherfucker Felicia Michaels.
Wow, you just opened up a can of fucking smooth on that commercial.
Come on, dog. You know how we fucking do it. So many things are hurting just because of certain things of evolution, really, in a way.
Yeah, well, it's the evolution of the internet, which has taken away so many jobs. Like I was just telling the activity partner yesterday about how in the photo business, you do everything on your computer now. Everything's digital. But imagine every time you got a roll of film developed or you got a picture printed, that was someone's job.
Remember we were kids, they had the huts you had to drop your camera off at? Remember they had the photo mat huts? You can't find the fucking photo mat hut today. Remember we were kids, they had photo mat huts? Yeah. They were like in a mall of a
now
mall.
They're key shops.
Yeah, they're key shops. And then at first they were combination key shops. Photo Max, we sell slippers too. Yeah. Because things were bad. And then they just fucking... When we were kids, you had to buy a camera and take it down there. Even in town now, the headshot business is done. Yeah. Because there's no headshots no more. When you bought headshots as an actor, you had to take the headshots, they give you the proof, take them to your agent, look at the proof, excuse me, take them to a store, get the proofs printed, take them to your agent. He's looked at it, bring them back, and then you order 300 of them. Well, now there's no more 300 orders.
And how many jobs was that to do that?
Bro, that whole Sunset Strip of Photoshop and place has gone away. It's amazing how some industries just replaced others. It's not that things are rough. It's that some people said, you know what, fuck it, I could press a button and pay my bills. I don't have to work. Dog, when I was a kid, my mother would give me options. She'd say either you come to the bar, if you want to stay and play basketball, that's good, but you ain't going to play basketball all day. So you're going to walk up the hill to PS&G, pay the heat bill. You're going to go up the phone bill and pay it. And then she put me together. What are you mad about? On the way back, you stop at the 4-star diner, get yourself a little BLT. I'll give you an extra 10. But that was my job. I had to go pay that shit. And I remember I would mark it off in the calendar, and I knew exactly when I had to walk in it. But for me, I felt great because I felt like an adult. I mean, I didn't pay the bill. She would give me the money, obviously, but it's responsibility in a way. Now it's just a press of a fucking button and everything's done, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny, like what you allow your kids to do, not do now that we did. Like I remember, like on July 3rd one year, and we lived in this little town called Fountain, Colorado, and there was no buses. We didn't have a car. My mom's in a wheelchair. We're on welfare, blah, blah, blah. So she decides we're going to have a barbecue, but to go to the only grocery store that actually had stuff was in this next town, Security, and I got on my little banana seat bicycle and bicycled fucking way out there, got groceries, had it on my thing, and bicycled back on a fucking highway.
I remember when my mom would give me a note to go to the liquor store.
Yeah.
A note, like tell the guy that you need a pack of cigarettes, a bottle of fucking Chivas, and a bottle of mixer. Mommy, what's a mixer? Just tell him you need fucking mixer. All right, here's a 20, buy yourself a candy bar. Can I keep the change? And I go over there with a note and say, my mom said it's okay. And he'd take a fucking 12-pack out of Heineken and a bottle of scotch and put it in a bag and roll it up, and I'd walk home with the booze or whatever. You can't do that today. I remember my father, going through a Lincoln Tunnel as a little boy, and my father would put me, I was 2, because he died when I was 3, so I was 2, and he would put me on his lap as he was driving, and I drive the steering wheel under the Lincoln Tunnel. You can't do that today, you know? You can never do that today. If they pull them over, you give a cop $10 and you move on with your way, you know? But it's pretty funny. That's the only memory I really have of my dad.
That's a pretty nice memory.
That's it. Just driving on his lap and going in the crib with the German Shepherd, because he was a big German Shepherd guy, you know. That's it. It's so weird. But just driving on his lap, you can't do that today. When I was a kid, somebody could say to you, hey, dog, I'm drunk. Drive the fucking car. I've been driving basically since I was like 14. I drove for a year without a license.
Oh, you did?
I drove a truck for Mike Denny, who was doing double murder now for killing his wife in Virginia. When I was a kid, they had a boat contracting company, a ship. They would, when ships would come to Newark, they would, you know, replace the fucking furnace, the metal stuff on it. They'd take the rust off. They remove the barnacles off the ship in noticeable places. They'd pick the ship up, and they always needed somebody to deliver parts. It was a 4-man operation, the father and the 3 boys. So I would deliver stuff with Mike Denny, and I just asked about him. He's in jail in Virginia. He got cracked up and killed his fucking wife. But for a year, I drove without a license until one day the old man said to me, Coco, when am I going to put you on the paperwork? Because he was paying me off the books. I mean, I was driving off the books. There was no insurance then. There was nothing. And one day he's like, how old are you? And I go, 16. He goes, I can't get your license. He goes, yes, I can. And he picked up the fucking phone, and he called his brother who had a driving school. And in New Jersey, it was 16 and a half, and you could have a driver's license. Well, when he got there, the guy, he goes, listen, give the guy $50, he'll do the paperwork, you get a license today. I'm like, I'm not 17. The guy's like, don't even worry about it. You don't need to be 17. I swear to God, Felicia. He put 17 on my license, went down there, I took the test with him in the car behind some fucking place in Secaucus, and the end was history. I had my license. That's how I got my license.
Wow.
Through a driving school. His brother owned the driving school. I never took a test in Jersey, and they gave me a little piece of paperwork, and the end was fucking history. Can you believe that? That's how loose life was 30 years ago.
When I was 16, as soon as I was, I think, 15 and a half, you get to driver permit or whatever. And I was like, had it and scoped out who had a car, because I was like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
It's amazing the things that you could do. You know, I was telling somebody that one of the problems, I think I was telling you, is that there's no more hustle left. You know, there's no more hustle left in this country. and it's the like for 20 years. I don't know if you remember this. When you went to a credit card place, remember that if you charged under $50, there was no computerized. It was this thing, ching ching.
Yeah.
And if it was over 50, they had to call to get an authorization number. But if it was under 50, all they did was run it.
Right.
Do you know for how long I lived off those credit cards, charging under 50? It was called under the limit people. They call under the limit scabs. That they just get credit cards. This is a living in New York. So you say to me, well, what do you want today, Felicia? I want a coffee and a bagel. It's going to cost me $8, but I'll give me $4. And that's your whole day. It's just buying shit for people under $50. What do you need? 10 boxes of Band-Aids? That's $40. Anything under $50 that they won't check.
Right.
So I would go to Chinese lunch. I would get steaks every day and shit like that because they would never check under $50. That was called under the limit guys. They don't have those scams no more. Yeah. When was the last time you bumped into somebody who sold Quaaludes or Valiums on the street?
Another reason why technology has robbed some jobs from some people.
Well, it's funny. Like I was asking somebody the other day, like, how do you get steroids? Not because I want to do them. I watched a documentary about Bigger, Faster, Stronger on HBO, and it was about people getting steroids in the fucking mail.
Oh yeah.
Like you could go online and order steroids, like just like that. Because there's some states that don't have this or that. I didn't know that. In my day, you had to go to the doctor and give them an 8-ball if you want to get a prescription. You know what I'm saying? But now you go online and get steroids. You know, you could walk over the border and go to Mexico and get steroids and shit. I didn't know this. I thought you got steroids at the gym from some big guy in the corner. Psst, come here. You know, that's not the case no more. You go right online. You know, they've eliminated a lot of hustling jobs. When I was a kid, a guy like me, 18, 19, you went to a friend and said, dog, I need a job at your place loading trucks. And they would have what's called shape up. So they wouldn't give you a job, but they'd shape you 2 nights a week. 2 nights a week at $18 an hour, 10 fucking hours, that's $360. As long as it didn't hit 6, you'd get no taxes taken out. So you made $360. So I got $360 for the week. What else can I put together this week? Felicia says if I paint her back room, she'll give me $500. Boom, that's $580. Now I got $880 for the week. Now I sell $200. Now how am I going to go out this weekend? You know what? I'll buy 100 Quaaludes for $100 a piece and sell them for $4. I make myself $300, so the whole weekend's on the fucking arm. So I'm selling Quaaludes at the bar to my friends. They're going to buy 100 Quaaludes. I can get rid of 100 Quaaludes like nothing. 40 will just go to fucking Felicia. She wants to suck dick all weekend. That's what people did. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, I made more money. I was telling this kid, Greg Schmidt, I told you, when I was a kid, I made more money than today. Ever thought of making. When I was a kid, there were hustles. Yeah. They were fucking hustles. I could wake up in the morning.
But you could hustle now like that, right?
No.
No, really? Why?
You know how many fucking years they would give you for selling a methaqualone? You know how many fucking years it would give you for selling a Valium? You know, like I said, in those days, you sold them to people around you. Yeah. If I came to Felicia, she'd call me and say, I need to get 10 Valiums. And if I went to somebody else and they said, I need 20 Valiums, that was every weekend in my circle. Right. So that's 30 Valiums at $3 a piece. That's $90. It cost me $100 to get 100. And I got $70 profit. I got 70 Valiums in my pocket still that I could sell for $2 and still fucking break even. You know, there was always a hustle. I used to buy quarter pounds of weed for $50 and sell them for $200. But I already had them sold. Yeah. I already fucking had them sold before I bought them. You know what I'm saying? So there was hustles in this country. You know, like I told the guy before, people would knock on your door. When I was a kid, I'd make $150, $200 when it would snow. You got a shovel, let's go. Me and your 2 kids up and down the corner digging people out. Yeah. Because they're out there, dog, what do you think, 20? Oh, 10, fuck you. You'll be pushing this car till your ass grows roots. Mexicans will pull up, do a lawn, and while they're doing the lawn, they're fucking waving at people. Como esta? Buenos dias. Next thing you know, they got 4 fucking angles. Mow this, you're here already. Yeah. Mow this. What do you usually want, 60? You're here. I'm going to give you 50 cash. Yeah. The hustle has been destroyed in this country, and it fucking eats me alive, you know?
Yeah. Because right now I could use a good hustle.
Oh, please!
Right now I could use a huge hustle.
Even in the strip club industry, I hear that it's fucking terrible now. Well, like days are terrible.
Yeah. Like, well, and here in LA, they got to be bringer shows.
Yeah, they got to be. You got to show up with 4.
Strip on the pole, but you got to bring 3 people.
You got to bring 4 fucking people. They got a half hour. It's amazing. Like my ex dances in Tampa. And she works a day shift, and she's like, in the old days, you just showed a tit. Now you got to suck dick. Now in the day shift, you got to suck a dick. You better go prepare with Banaka and ready to get those jaws going because you get 4 people. So you got to get the best maximum value out of 4 people.
Wow.
In the old days, you got 80 people. So if you got 4 suckers, they were there.
Right.
But now the numbers are smaller, so you got to grab those motherfuckers and suck them for everything they got. What do you mean you don't want a lap dance, bitch? Take a look at this pussy. You know, how's the quickest way to get a lap? Listen, the quickest way to get somebody to buy blow from me is to put a rock in their nose.
Right.
I come to you all day and say, I got the best coke in town. Get back to me later. No, if I take that fucking bikini and I rip it to the side and show you that fire-eating dragon right off the bat, this is how we're going to do this. You want to get a lap dance? Not really. Let me think about it. Let me have a beer. Hold on 1 second. You show them that fucking fire-breathing dragon and say, look, you see that fucking monkey right there? You see that finger, that motherfucker?
The fire-breathing dragon.
Smell that mother. I even give you like a free finger. Like if I was a chick in a strip club in the daytime, shove your finger in that fucking pussy. Look how I put oil of fucking Olay in that motherfucker.
Dragon.
Forget about it. You put a little oil of Olay in your pussy, make that motherfucker slippery. You go up to some dude or John at lunchtime and say, finger this motherfucker for free. You get a free finger bang at lunchtime. You see how many fucking dances you get.
Oh my goodness.
Because you gave him something. But if I'm going to walk into your joint, you're going to parade by me with some Catholic girl suit and think your shit don't stink. Bah!
Right.
That chick over there will lick my toes for the 10 spot. You know what I'm saying? She'll sniff the fucking toe jam out of my toe for a fucking 20. I don't want to get my dick sucked. I want you to sniff my fucking toe jam. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Can you imagine that saying that to a stripper? And she's like, absolutely. I had a friend who would go for hookers. I had a
toe
friend.
jam. I was thinking about the toe jam part of that.
I had a friend that his name was Roger, and one day he asked me, he goes, let's go get a hooker in Tunnel Yarrow. This is in 94. And I go, you're still getting hookers? He goes, yeah, but I don't fuck them no more. They just jerk me off with their feet. And here's the scary part.
That's right. You had
here's
told
the
that
scary
before,
part of
yeah.
that conversation. He was telling the fucking truth. He was to that point in his boudoir where a girl was jerking him off with his feet. That's got to be exciting in some ways. Not for me, because all I'm
Especially
thinking,
at hooker's feet. She's been walking around up and down
it's
the
all
dirty
tough, no
streets.
cream on them and shit. Little dirt on the
Feet are all
heel.
swollen up. She's got corns on them.
The next day, your dick got lumps on it, like you fucked a nasty ass
She
and
didn't have time to paint her
shit.
toenails. They're all long, but there's a little bit of red on them, but they're crusty underneath. Yeah, that's what you want jerking you off.
Let me tell you something, Felicia. This week,
Or was I talking about my feet?
this week, you have nice feet. You have nice little feet. We were in Vegas this weekend, and me and Joe were running to do MMA Junkie, and this it was the bull riding festival, and
So a bunch of cowboys
and
were
a
there.
bunch of cowboys were there, and I was in heaven. Like I could smell the horses on them, and I was just, and I'm scared of horses.
Yeah.
But my secret thing as a kid was like, here I was living in New York, and I'm like, these guys ain't shit.
So you're scared of horses, but you like the smell of horses
I like
on
cowboy.
men.
I like cowboys. I like cowboys. I like the whole idea of a cowboy.
Yeah.
I like the whole idea of wearing a hat and a fucking gun. When I was a kid living in New York City, I always dreamed of like being in the Wild Wild West. Then I seen a Clint Eastwood movie, and it really got into my head, and I was like, that's what I want to do. You know, that's why it wasn't surprising to me that I ended up in Colorado, because it was my sub dream to fucking shoot people and be a cowboy. And I liked the way they talk, and I just liked the whole redneck experience. And then I ended up marrying a fucking redneck.
Right.
And the other
Well,
day,
you're trying to assimilate.
and I was trying to, and I listened to Leonard Skinner, and I really like rock. Like I really like Led Zeppelin, but I really like Leonard Skinner,
yeah.
and I really like Merle
You're
Haggard, and I
assimilating.
really like Willie Nelson. I like their whole. I think that you have
That's
like.
how we get you.
Like they have gangster rappers. I think those guys ain't dick compared to like in the '70s with Merle Haggard and well, not Merle Haggard, with Chris Christopherson and all those guys went on tour. They drank so much beer that Budweiser had to pull the sponsorship. And meanwhile, you're talking about partying, you fucking cunt. You don't even know what it is to drink. Listen to what I'm telling you. Bud took away their sponsorship because it was overwhelming. It was Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, and somebody else. It was Jalen Wennings. It was whatever his fucking name. Waylon Jennings. It was just overwhelming. And I've always felt that these people are so real. Like, you never get nothing like here. You talk to people in L.A. and they'll, oh my God, let's do lunch. You think a fucking redneck ever says, let's do fucking lunch? You know? What a redneck says, he fucking means. That's why I've always respected that. Like, when I go to Texas, I get it. When I go deep in the heart of Texas and I see the hats and the cowboys, tell me one redneck that's ever, like, you ever go to a redneck mechanic And I hate to say this word redneck, but let's differentiate them. You know, he's honest with you, and he'll try to help you. Like, my car broke down in Nebraska one time. This guy was the king of the fucking rednecks. And he was like, boy, you got a real problem here, but let's work this out. Somebody else would just fuck me in the ass. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's so funny because I come from the rednecks.
I love it.
And I'm completely suspicious of
no,
rednecks.
I fucking love it.
You haven't seen it from the inside out.
I have.
No matter how hard you try to assimilate.
like let's take for example, like if I'm in a room with white people and something goes down, I'm nervous. But if I'm in a room with rednecks, or I got two rednecks by me, I know we're gonna go down swinging. It's a different mentality. Rednecks go down swinging. These people will walk away from you in that life. If you get into a beef at a place like that, no, you seen what happened.
Yeah.
If I would have had three rednecks with me at that ice house, we would have picked up that stage and flipped it the fuck over. You understand me?
You'd be faxing your jokes into Leno.
Oh, I'd be faxing my jokes into Leno. You understand me? Rednecks are down. That's why when you listen to their music, they're fucking down. Everything about them is down, from the Allman Brothers. Those motherfuckers are down. Leonard Skinner showed up with two drummers. They scratched their head and like, how are we going to make this sound? Fuck, let's get two drummers. You got it, but fuck it, we'll just give them blow. It was just so real. I just love all that shit. Anyway, I'm walking through the fucking hotel. We're running through because I'm late for MMA Junkie. And just the way this kid tapped me on the shoulder. Joe was ahead of me because he's faster than me, and I was out of breath. I had to run up the escalator. The escalator was fucking broken. And I turned and I seen this kid's face. He's like, hey, man, Joe Diaz, I'm a big fan. And I'm like, what? Whatever. And he goes, can I sign this? And I signed it. And as his dad ran up, and he's like, can you take a picture of my boy? And all of a sudden with that, Joe's like, come on, we're running late. And I go, come here, bro. These people love us. And he took a picture, and they were from Oklahoma. We ain't from Tulsa. We're from fucking the back valley. They gave me their number. You ever come down, you want to kill some fucking... I mean, there were those type of people. And I was like, oh my God, like my insides were breaking. I'm like, listen, we really got to go. And they're like, man, if we could buy you a drink later, Jack Daniels on us. And I'm like, oh my God, if these guys do buy me a drink, they're going to find out I'm a fucking pussy. So I ran away. I went and did the radio. Never thought about it. Well, Saturday I wake up early. I always wake up early. And I went downstairs to get my little oatmeal, my little mixed fruit bowl. And I was waiting online at Raffles. And the same two people came up to me. Mm-hmm. And they go, hey, man, what you did yesterday was really nice. And then the kid went to get the reservation. And the dad said to me, let me tell you what happened. After we seen you guys, and you guys were running, they said, about an hour later, we seen Alex Rodriguez, and he didn't turn around for us. And that meant a lot to me and my boy. And I was like, you can't compare me to Alex Rodriguez or Joe Rogan. That's a complete different thing. He goes, yes, I can. We're both human beings. Oh, no, he goes, you're both human beings. Yeah. He goes, because before he became a star, he was a human being. I will never... And this guy was like, I'm a Yankee fan. You know, I just ripped up. And when I go home, the guy didn't even turn around and acknowledge me. And I left there thinking, wow, it's right. We are fucking human beings. I mean, what a beautiful thing from a redneck who people look down, people make fun of, they fuck sheep.
That's how we get
They do this, they do that. This is the guy that came up with the most beautiful words I've heard all fucking year.
You know, that's what happens when you're a redneck. You can turn that on.
When I was a kid and I would watch Hee Haw,
yeah,
like nobody could be in the room.
You
like,
used to watch
Oh
Hee
my
Haw?
God, when I came from Cuba, and I would see those fucking flannel shirts and shit with the buckets. Oh my God,
you have it bad,
you
Joey.
have
You have it bad.
You have no idea how much of a redneck I am.
Oh,
you have no idea. Since I was a kid, I would play
Dear
country
Lord,
music.
make it not so.
I would play country music. When I met Terry, I was like, my dreams were answered. When I went to a house the first time for lunch and that bitch fried up food and gave me beans and shit, I was like, oh, I got to hold on to this one. This is my life.
My God.
And then I watched The Outlaw. And on one of our first dates, I watched The Outlaw Josie Wales. I had her explain it to me. Did I tell you about that? Because she's half Indian and shit, so I had her to explain it to me.
Well, all rednecks are.
And she...
That's how we get.
And she broke down the whole... Like, I'm intrigued by American Indians. Like, I'm fucking intrigued with all that shit. I love all that stuff.
Right.
When I go to the South, like somebody was saying, when you go to the South, those women are different. They kind of are, because they know what fucking time it is.
Yeah.
People know where they stand in Texas. I don't know why. Like, they know... Here, they, like, just bullshit themselves... And they just talk without knowing who the fuck they really are. In Texas, they know they're rednecks. They know who the fuck they are, and they live with it. Yeah. And they're proud of it. They go to Vegas, and they sit there with their little... Because once they get over 300 pounds, they say, fuck walking. They get those little fucking supermarket carts, and they will smoke those fucking cigarettes like they're going out of style.
I am curious what race it ends up more with those cards. Like, I would like to see the numbers. Like, who
White rednecks.
Right, white rednecks.
One day they wake up and
Yeah.
they're like Bill Hicks. They smoke pot and they go, you know what? We don't really need to walk anymore.
By the way, that's why I could never work a cruise ship, because I just can't deal with people like that in the little scooter. And
It's a different fucking world, man. I love it. I love it. Rednecks, you know I love you. We'll be back, bitches.
all right, now wipe those tears away.
That's right.
You do have tears. That's so funny. You are just so adorable, Mr. Diaz.
Brings me great pleasure to introduce one of my. You know, the other day we were singing a song, my own personal Jesus. I'm like, fuck Jesus.
Depeche Mode?
Yeah, I love the song. I love the album. Violator, I think it's anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, whatever happened if you ever had your own
The
personal
Rose?
fucking Jew? Like, you know what I'm saying?
As a slave, as a
And
servant?
No, like just some people have their own personal Jesus to get them through.
Right,
Like, what if
right.
you have your own personal fucking Jew? But that you can't say that. It doesn't sound right. My own personal Jewy. Don't sound right. So I was like, my own personal Hebrew. And I said it in front of Rogan and we were laughing. And he goes, what do you mean by that? Like a slave? And I go, no, like we all need a Jew in our life.
Just to
People
help
have
with the Jew
no
stuff.
fucking idea how
Gain access.
important it is to have a real Jew, not one of these Mickey Mouse Jews and shit like that. Like a real motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Mickey
Somebody who
Mouse
straightens
Jews.
your shit out from time to time. Like he's like, in my day, you fucking did this. And you're like, wow, really?
raised
And I am
conservative.
blessed with the, you know, and it's funny because when my father came from Cuba, the Jews were his friends. You know, like he had the fucking tattoo and he wore the yarmulke and the whole fucking
What
thing.
tattoo?
My dad had a Cuban star on his chest.
Really?
Whenever he took
Oh, he
pictures,
did?
yeah, my dad
He did?
went all in.
Oh, there's a new piece of information.
Because it was his whole,
Yeah.
it was his disguise. In those days, he looked so Jewish that he just ran with them, and they were selling heroin in the
like, fuck it.
50s. And
Yeah.
but it's amazing, you know, everybody who's anybody has a Jew as an attorney, as a consultant, something. And I'm saying this, and Felicia's cringing. She's like, I can't put
Get a
this.
Jew in your life.
But
yeah.
you do. You gotta have a Jew in your life.
Get a Jew.
And I'm blessed to have Ari Shaffir. Felicia said to me the
I
other day,
get
she
what
goes,
you're saying. It's just hard to say it
Felicia
out
said,
loud.
fuck it. We all think like that. We all on the
You know,
drive
I mean,
home.
that's
you're like,
all.
You know, you get,
But,
listen,
you know,
you get arrested. They have
Sometimes
a
I
cut-
say stuff to you that's just common sense stuff, and you're like, you're such a fucking Jew.
I love it.
I love it.
And it's brilliant to me because nobody thinks about it that way. It's brilliant. You know, we talk about my idol. My fucking idol is Maya Lansky.
Oh, yeah.
That's my
That's right.
idol across the board. Guy was a professional criminal. You know, he offered Israel $5 million to land. They said, fuck you. Take the plane to Argentina. Offered them $6 million. Then he came back to the States. They could never find his money. He died in his own bed. He walked his little French poodle. He had people following him for years to see where he hid his money.
And they never got it.
He ate bagels with nothing on them just to show him I'm tougher than you, motherfucker. You'll never know where I hid that fucking money.
You have to be pretty tough to eat a bagel with nothing on it.
But you know, it's like they were watching Casino the one day, and they were talking about in the movie Casino how, you know, when the guy took him for a lot of money, De Niro fucking jammed the plane up so the people had to come back to the hotel because we'll get you. And somebody was like, "That's such a brilliant scam." I go, "Doug, that wasn't invented by fucking no fucking guy in Vegas. That whole thing was invented by Maya Lansky in the 50s. He would go out and get $1,000 bills. He
Yeah.
would fucking go out and get $1,000 bills." So when you beat him as a bookmaker, let's say you beat him for $800, you go, I got a $1,000 bill. Nobody wants a $1,000 bill. They go, no, just keep it till next week. Next week you shove it up your fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't cost them nothing to shove it up your ass. You think a Puerto Rican would invent that or a Cuban guy? Only a Jew could invent
Only
that
a Jew.
move.
We
Only
know.
a Jew
I'll
could
take the
invent that
system.
fucking move. A white guy's gonna invent that. What? Steve Jobs and 10 fucking mental midgets couldn't invent that fucking move right there.
We're just smarter.
And it's legal. It's legal. Like, I just held on to
yeah.
your money and you lost.
Yeah.
Fuck, but if you would have given it to me, dog, I didn't do nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
I'm so sorry.
Geniuses. But nobody talks about them. But I'm very lucky. Look, I can't believe we got into this deep.
He said he was going to torture me one day. He said he's going to torture me by tying me up and making me watch him take all my money out of my bank account, $20 at a time.
And light it on fire in front of him.
$20 at a time. Go back to the ATM. 20 more bucks, please.
20 at a time.
No!
Show it to him and then rip it up, light it on fire. One at a time.
Stop. Just kill me now.
I met Ari at the store. It was fucking great. We just, you know, Felicia's a store person, so she understands the patois.
Yeah.
You know, listen, it's great on Friday nights, and it's great on Saturday nights when everybody's partying and drinking. But the nights that I felt the most at the store was Sunday nights. To me, there was something about Sunday nights I loved, and she used to make me the late night host.
Yeah.
You know, she always made me the 10 o'clock, and then I used to say, why do you do that to me? Oh, I used to make all my special people hosts. What would she call me?
Fat baby.
Fat baby. That's what she would call me. She would even put, that was her name for me, Fat baby. And she would put it on the schedule. She'd even walk me through the schedule and show it to me, Fat baby.
Oh my God,
And then she would,
that's awesome.
and then she would pinch my stomach with her finger like it was a needle and go,
Like she was letting the air
Fat
out.
baby, you're so handsome.
Oh my God.
Fat baby, you need to dress up like Fidel and go on stage.
Poke you and let the air
And she
come out of
poked
you.
me and let the
Oh
air
my
come
God,
out of my
I can
stomach.
totally see her doing that.
Yeah, she was
Oh my
cool
God.
like that. It was so
You used
weird.
to host that late show, and you had the powder running through, and it would just your hand would just shake.
Oh.
It would just go like this. It would just up and
Sunday
down.
nights to me were life
Yeah.
because it was the night where you didn't have to be anybody. It
was your show.
It was my show I hosted, and I knew that the package was going to be there. My whole week was, as long as the package was there Friday, that's all right, but it better be there Sunday.
I didn't know what that was. Then.
I don't want to hear a fucking story about Sundays. Sundays, you always better have a package there, and it better be there by 10:20, because that's about the time I'm walking off that stage. And I would bring up Dice first. I had a system, because
So then you
Dice
could
would do
take
an
like
hour.
30 and 40 minutes
So I
off.
could do 2 or 3 bumps, smoke a few cigarettes, get settled. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put no 15-minute spot up there. Every time
You
I host,
motherfucker, you would call Dice to come down.
I would call people to
We'd be
call
like,
stars.
Mom,
at
Dice
home.
came again. We got bumped again.
Stars at home. How does he know? I would call him because I want the package to settle. You know what I'm saying? Before I went up there for the second round. And then I would just get names. I would go up there twice. I would do my 15, bring Dice up, go up there after Dice, bring up a comic, and then give it to Don Barris.
Yeah, that's what Don Barris was.
And I
You
get
would also
$25 bucks.
midnight.
And I'd fucking stay up there till 2, just getting high with Eddie Griffin, talking shit in the yard. I mean, Sunday nights were
You would do
great.
this thing where you'd stare at the list to see who it was, kind of go off into a weird world. Your right arm would just be doing this thing where you'd be opening and closing.
Oh my
Your
God.
hand, your left, but you wouldn't be saying anything. And then after like 10 seconds, you go, "Come to the stage!" as you fucking finally send it on one name that you're going to bring up.
Oh my God, Joey. Well, thank God you stopped that.
No, but it was funny because one night, I don't know what the deal was. I booked something that happened.
Yeah.
I booked something. I had to leave town, and it was a Sunday night. I mean, at that time, we were living off Terry's tips and my $15 at the fucking store.
Wow.
25 for hosting.
25 for hosting. And after a while, remember I would even combination work the door and MC.
Yeah, you fucking pay me as a door guy too. I'll take that door. You gave
Dog,
him a
I
t-shirt.
would work it. I
Yeah?
would fucking work. The store for me was like, when I got to the store, I was still a hustler. So one of the first jobs I got was upstairs in the telemarketing room with Enz Mitchell, who now owns Mixed Nuts. Enz Mitchell, myself,
Comedy
Shane
Union.
Matash,
The
Larry-
Comedy Union, yeah.
The Comedy Union. Me, Larry Vizeo. I still remember who worked in that telemarketing office. And we would have to call different businesses. So it was too much work. So they also had these passes, these comedy store passes. And if you put your initials on them and somebody gave a pass, you got $1.
This is, by the way, the first time I heard this story is I asked the manager, like, how come we don't get door passes anymore? He goes, fucking ask Joey Diaz, and he walked away. I'm like, what? We just want to give free passes to people that we get in contact
Right.
with.
So I figured out that if 50 people gave those passes in, you get $1 for fucking ticket.
Yeah, everyone you get, you would get $1 back.
So what I would do is I'd take 150, 200 passes, and I go to Universal City in the daytime. I'm just going to fuck around anyway for 1 hour. I go up there at lunchtime when Universal was Universal. Not now. It's a
When it was
ghost town
going
out
off.
there. And I would just give out passes to all those tourists. And then I would wait till Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, that's the good part. That's what they wanted him to do with it.
Right.
And then I would get there on Saturdays and Fridays at 7:30. And I'd wait for the line to pack
To the
up.
comedy store.
And I'd just give them passes right online. So every
So all the
Friday-
people that were gonna pay $20 a piece now pay
Every-
nothing.
Wow.
Every
They had to give
Friday-
Joey Diaz a ticket.
Wow.
Every Friday, I get a check for $90 from the store, but $8,000 from the fucking ticket sales. They couldn't figure out, like, how the fuck does he sell so many tickets? I don't do nothing. I just go there
Oh my
and,
Like, hey, don't bother paying.
and
Here
give
you
them
go.
off online. They had to stop. I was knocking them dead. Like, no
How long
exactly.
did you do that for?
You probably could
A
have
year.
sold
I was
those
picking-
tickets to those people for $5.
I was
a piece.
picking up.
Oh
I was
my
picking up
God,
anywhere
Joey.
from $2 to $300 a week, giving away free passes when I first got here.
Everybody stole from that place.
You had to steal from that place. I mean, with 3 hands, everybody was
The
stealing.
curb with guys, they all took.
The best was the
Really?
night. The best was and I got magic hands.
Yeah.
My hands move. If you've never seen my hands, there's one thing about Chubby Joey Diaz that you should know.
Tell us, fat baby.
He's got quick hands and lightning feet. You don't see it. If I gotta move, only under strict situations where you go, Jesus Christ, did you see fucking Joey's hands? So I was always trained at 7-Elevens. You don't shoplift in the store. You shoplift at the counter. That's
do you
rule
mean?
number 1. You never shoplift in the store. That's for amateurs. That's how you get caught. You pick a bag of chips that you're gonna pay for, or a blanket, or a CD that you're gonna pay for.
Yeah.
But while you're waiting online at the counter, you're stuffing shit.
Oh.
You're stuffing online. Nobody's done that. The camera's off you. He's online.
Cameras off people
the
online?
camera's off you.
Wow.
They're looking in the middle. So right there, they used to have a stand of lighters. And my goal was to take every lighter off that stand. That was my goal. So just to work my hands.
In one.
In a couple fucking
Okay.
swipes. And I took that trick from Boulder to Seattle to LA to Kherson. There was one time, I'll get Terry Clark to come in here and testify. I have this little drawer, and it was 6 inches deep. If you would open it, I had every big lighter with every football team. Remember that year? And I would not let her touch them. I would count them. There's
You
100.
got one of everybody?
Everybody. I would
So
have
you keep
100.
the standings.
I would go there with
lighters.
Jody Furdy coked up, and I'd walk out of there with 3 lighters. The point being, my hands are very quick. I'm like a
Yeah.
magician. One night I go into the store, and Mike Rick is there on one of his worst situation nights.
Yeah.
And I would go to the store early just because somebody might drop a 40 on the floor. You know, the early bird gets the worm. You might go down there and pick up a spot. You know, you might go down there and get a spot. You have to wait till 11. You always went down there early, and there was that one manager who I fucking hated.
Ooh, which one?
I don't know. It was somebody who I hated.
Okay.
And he was a very intelligent kid, but this kid never spent a day on a fucking corner. He took the banks.
Yeah.
It was me, Eleanor, Mike Ricker, Terry. It was us waitresses, and I'm walking past, and he took the banks and he put the registers on top. But he took the brown bag and put the bag out and took all the money out and left it up there. And they were all talking, and I walk in and I see the money and I go, "Oh my God!" I'm looking. You know me. I'm looking for a 40, right?
This is like,
And I look at.
it's like heroin in front of a heroin addict. It's just.
And I look at the bar and I get a drink from the bar, but it wasn't set up yet.
Yeah.
So the straws and the napkins were still by the computer stations, by the waitresses.
Yeah.
So I had a reason to turn around. And I don't know what it was. I got the soda. As I was drinking, I go, "Where's the straws?" How can he goes, "Behind you." And I turn around and the pile is right there. But right when I went to get the straw, I put the thing in and I thought that they were watching me, like goofing around. I picked up a pile. It was like those bank singles where it's 100 in the rubber band. I picked it up and I put it in front of me. Nobody said nothing. And I just picked it up and put it in my armpit.
You waited there just in case.
And put it up and closed my armpit and went back to the bar and drank. And I sat there for 4 minutes. Nobody said nothing. I walk out to the car. I look at it. It's all singles. I throw it on. I call Dante. "Come on down there. I got your 40 plus the 20 from last night." And all of a sudden, about 10 minutes later, Terry comes down. She's like, "Fucking Mike Ricker stole the money." But one night, it was like a Sunday night, and I got into a bind. I go, "Ari, I need $200." You know, on a Friday or Saturday, everybody's got $200 on a Sunday.
I couldn't believe I loaned you
And Ari
$200.
gave me $200, and people are like, "Are you kidding me?" He's gonna go snort that, but I really needed it.
I was like,
You know,
if he doesn't pay it back, that's the last time he gets money from me.
and I'm like, 2 days later, I paid him, and he was like,
I was
"In
like,
shock."
what?
He was like, "In shock." I told you I'd be right back with it. You're my brother. Why would I fucking beat you? And about a year later, I got a card, and it was a thank you card from Ari for helping him on Sunday nights, and I fell in love with him after that because nobody does that.
Right.
That's a sign of a true fucking
When
soldier.
someone
I
does
got
that-
made a
I still got the
regular.
card on my wall. I
When
still put it
someone
up on
does
my
that.
today.
wall.
Like when my first son came, David Tell sent a little treasury bond and a card, and I always remembered that.
Yeah,
And
you'll
when
never
my
forget that.
brother died, he sent a condolence card.
Really?
Out of everyone, I was so surprised, and you know.
And
it
that's why I
makes
send
you-
cards, because I remember how I felt when I
Like
got
a
your
person.
card. And I always kept
I
that
had him
card.
paid regular, so I wanted to thank the people.
Yeah,
that
all
helped
the
me.
people that helped them out, because they would ask you questions, and I would never bullshit nobody. You know me, I come right at you, dog. You're killing me with that fucking joke. You got to get rid of that. do this, and you'll be fine. And then they'd say, "You're right, dog. I worked it like that."
You're the Wayne guy that was exactly the same when you were talking in the back of the club, and then you get on stage and it was like there was no difference. It was the only one I ever saw like that. There was zero act in you.
Why would you? The act is you talking.
You were just almost like, oh, hold on, let me finish this conversation from on stage. And you just like you would almost just continue talking.
Nothing burns me up more when people say to me, "Dog, you're funnier off stage than what you are on stage." Like when I was doing Spider-Man 2, there was a black kid on the set that always go to me. I went to see you do stand-up. He told me to my face. He goes, "It's not worth paying."
What? Really?
He goes,
Really?
"You're better just off the cuff walking around." Though. And I was like, I can't argue with him. He's right. They're my line, whatever. And that's the special thing that you always really want to get on stage is who you are. I always fought hard. And what's really funny about this is that for years people always said to me, "Dog, there was something you did, and it really got you funny." And I tell you what, I've been doing it again lately, and it's thanks to Ari. Ari has a storyteller show. And either you could tell a story or you fucking can't.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody who can't tell a story. In my world, everybody can tell a story, except maybe a few girls. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a few women who can't. You can tell a fucking story, but a lot of people can't.
Some people can't do it.
Some people can't do it, and it's really weird when you realize you could do it. Nobody knows you're doing it until you're on stage doing it. You're bombing one night, and all of a sudden you decide to tell a fucking story. And you go into a store and you're like, "That was great." People laughed, and Ari has brought that thing back, the storyteller show, and it's really weird when you do that. And
it's cool.
Back
They're
away
fun
from your
shows.
comedy.
Yeah.
It's really a different approach, and either like a lot of people can do it or they can't do it. A lot of people can't go that deep.
I was at this store when I was super, super young, and I just remember being afraid to go into any dark, creepy corner of
Why?
the store because it's fucking creepy. It's creepy, like I don't dig on the vibe.
It's one thing I never bought into at that place, the ghosts idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just a building. There's no ghosts. What is wrong with you people?
There's something in there.
There ain't nothing in there.
There
It's
is,
creepy,
Joey,
There's something
freaky
in there.
freaks.
There's something in
The
there.
building is
something
breaking.
there.
They haven't done repairs to it in 40
There's
years.
something
That's what's in there.
No,
There's something in
Dead
there.
rats in the walls. That's what's in there.
Yeah.
There's something fucking in there, dog.
There's no
That's how I went to a weed store the other day and I heard BAM!
Yeah.
And I go, "What is that?" And the kid goes, "We have rat traps up there. I must have just caught a rat. That'll be $20 for that fucking rat." I mean, he went right into it. And I kept looking at the ceiling thinking that the rat would fucking fall. I'd shit myself right there.
Yeah.
I would die if a rat fell through the fucking ceiling, I think there's
so
something
Joey,
at the store.
did you get laid at the store?
It wasn't laid.
You must have.
It wasn't the word laid. It was disgust. It
Oh
was
my God.
filtery, piggery,
Whatever.
animalistic,
Whatever that is.
Whatever.
I mean, it was just disgust.
Did the pinky to go in a dark hole?
Oh, 20,000 times,
Yeah.
but in the most disgusting and just un-American ways.
But just like you're sitting on the toilet, they're blowing you.
Just disgusting.
You're reaching around, sticking your finger in your ass,
disgusting,
just to be-
disgusting filth.
Yeah.
Just filth is
Well,
what I
tell
read.
us the worst one.
The worst one is the night that on a Tuesday or Wednesday, a bunch of girls pulled up with limos.
Yeah.
Like 6 or 7 cute little broads that had no idea, like the ones I had sitting behind me at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, virgins. They had no idea. Oh my God,
You
we're in
could just
Hollywood.
tell.
They rented the whole limo. They were staying at the Four Seasons, and they're in there giggling, and they would come out to smoke cigarettes. And the fucking store is the last place you want to be a confused chick at.
Sharks.
Because those
Yeah.
are professional sharks.
Yeah.
You will end
Those
up
are guys
sucking
who
a
are
dick
just
there.
going
Well, you
for
guys,
it.
the guys' comics would always hang out by the bathroom door,
Oh.
right outside the door.
Oh my God! It's like
That wasn't so that you can hit on girls, but every once in a while, girls would come down. You're like, God damn! And then you realize, oh, we're outside the bathroom. They keep coming there.
a girl could come
you
with
don't
a
move.
husband and a priest. That
doesn't
don't give a
matter.
fuck at the store.
matter.
We're gonna tackle them and get
Does
our
not
dick
matter.
sucked or whatever. But one of the worst nights ever was this night with these cute little chicks, and I'm outside talking to this girl. Something happened. I was sitting. I used to sit on the stairs, and they came over and said, "Do you have a light, Mister?"
In the front stairs?
Yeah, no, the back stairs.
Oh,
Those-
the belly room,
that
yeah.
was always my spot back there. I would
Yeah,
drink
yeah,
my
you sat
soda and
there.
smoke cigarettes. And she came back and said, "You have a light, Mister?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, this had to be 10 years, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was maybe 36 and she was maybe 24 or something. And they didn't know. They had like the one shoe off. They were drinking pink drinks. And I wasn't paying no mind to them because I don't like young girls. I've
Yeah.
never dug young girls. And, and they were smoking pot with somebody, and they
them.
were getting giggly, and the one girl was starting to get dizzy. So they're like, we got to go to a party now. But that one girl with the whatever kept talking to me about shit. What does it take to be a comedian? I would love to be. They lived in bumfuck whatever. Who knows where they lived? So I go, all right, have a nice night. And I do whatever I do, and I walk to the front. And I'm talking to Chewy, whoever, and now those 6 girls are running through where you pay the doorman. I'm outside.
Yeah.
So you pay the doorman. So when they come out again, that's the last spot where the barracudas are going to get you.
Yeah, that's the
so
last
3
way
guys
up.
stuck 3 of them up. And this girl turns around. I'm like, what are you going to do? And she goes, I just want to have fun. I go, what do you mean by fun? And she goes, I don't know. And I go, you want to have fun? I go, grab her. And I just grabbed her hand. I mean, she was 4 feet from the car. And I ran her around through the main room into the woman's bathroom there. And we started swapping, spitting. I took off her fucking panties.
In the main room bathroom?
Right in the main room bathroom.
girls'
the
bathroom?
women's bathroom. Where they had a little couch.
Yeah.
Right in that little couch in there.
Yeah.
And I just started eating her fucking pussy. She was brand new. Fingering her. She came, then she started crying. That's how young she was. And I got up. I put my fucking tongue away. I washed my face. And I fucking just left her there.
Crying.
Crying.
Joey.
That was...
You didn't have sex with her.
You don't know how many times. I got my dick sucked. And I would tell a girl, I got an 8-ball of Coke. Let's go get my dick sucked. And I take them upstairs, suck my dick, and they go, where's the Coke? I'm going to go get it. Wait right here. I'll be right back. Pew!
Gone.
I would never come back. They'd be still waiting for me. Like Hollywood Henderson would leave those broads. I was horrible. Up there. It was a fucking nightmare. But the people who went up there, it was like you went home at night and said, I just did not do that. I did not just do that. There was a girl that would go up there and get like comedy help. A blonde, hot little girl from like Mississippi. I don't know how many people fucked her and sucked her dick. I don't know. Every time she went up there for fucking comedy help, she ended up sucking something.
Where'd she go?
I didn't, I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where. There was one girl that used to go up there with a wig on that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That was a 10.
Yeah.
But she didn't know she was crazy. Like, she would go up there with a wig, and Danny Kelly had her in a jacuzzi one time.
Oh, really?
And I walked over there, and the chick was a fucking 10.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy.
There was a lot of crazy girls that went down there that you're like, really? You need this shit in your life? What about the one night with...
They stay around for like 6 months to 2 years. They hang around for a while.
What about the
then they
one
leave.
night with Mike? What about the one night with Mike Young and the broad?
Yeah.
The hot school teacher that went up there, and all of a sudden she was making out with one guy, and she's blowing the other guy, and all of a sudden I go home, and I go up there on Monday, and there she is again, and she's gone, and I go to Mike's house to get weed, and she's naked on the couch, and there's 3 guys dancing around her. So I go get Ricky Cruz, and I go back, and she sucks everybody's dick. Then we did a comedy sketch where I played President Lincoln, not President Clinton. And she sucked my dick.
Right,
Remember
right.
we told you?
Yeah, you said
and at
that
the end of the
story.
blowjob, she goes, "Your balls stink." The whole fucking deal.
Yeah.
Where do you, and then the next
If a
night,
girl wants to get really depraved, there are
that's
men
where they
at
go.
the comedy store who
they will fucking
go
take you
into
for
it.
that ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then she went up there the next night and blew Jeff Richards.
Really?
That's how crazy. So she went up there 3 nights for cock a la mode.
There was a girl Mike Young
For
had.
comedy cock. That's,
You just
that's
cannot-
I just can't understand.
There was a girl
that.
Mike Young
That's
who
really
who,
weird.
who was with her boyfriend or with a guy sitting there. Went out to go to the bathroom. Mike Young took her to the main room to show her that bathroom because there was a line. Had sex with her there. He said this is what he said. He's like, you have a great chest. I want to see your tits. And then she was like, okay. And then he goes, oh, I have to fuck you. And so they had sex in that bathroom. Went back
that
to
same bathroom?
Yeah, went back to her chair and she got very snuggly with her boyfriend.
You
She
don't
would
know
like
how many
lean in.
times.
We would go back there, like that girl, and she would be like leaning her head on the shoulder.
You
of
don't
the
know how many
boyfriend,
times
like,
a girl
compensating.
sucked a guy's dick and went back into
to a
that
guy she's with,
and went back into that room and sat and watched comedy.
and the guy she's with had no
Wow.
idea what she's capable
Wow.
of.
Now, El Paso, Texas, they take it to the full extent. They'll
What?
fuck you on Wednesday, and Friday bring their husbands to the show.
Oh,
You know how
Well,
late-
I've seen that.
Ladies'
yeah.
night on
Yeah.
Wednesday night,
Yeah.
they'll suck your dick, and then Friday go, oh my God, Joey, we met the other night. This is my husband, Jim. We've been together 12 years. And you're sitting
Yeah.
there going, oh my fucking
Wow.
God. So,
See, girl comics don't really get that kind of, stuff, I don't think. Well, first of all, when I was at the Comedy Store, it was because I was a stripper when I was younger before that. So I never
Really?
wanted to like let that secret out. So I never really
mix business
I tried
and
to
pleasure.
Keep it,
Yeah,
I
be
tried
conservative.
not to. Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit, but I wasn't like And I knew too, like just because I knew girls that had done it before and had to leave, and People always have to leave the Comedy Store.
Oh, please.
Check in somewhere.
How many
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
broads came
Yeah.
and went when you were there? You know, how many?
Go fully crazy. Either waitresses or comics.
It's
Or
crazy.
just hangers
It's
out.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I remember the chick that tried to kill herself, the waitress,
Which one?
the one that tried to slit her wrist right before you came. One of the managers fucked her, and she went crazy over the manager.
yeah.
And him and her got fired.
The managers have had sex with so many
And
of the
then it was
waitresses.
fucking crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So many.
And then she made a comeback. Like, she slit both her wrists and had to quit the store.
Wow.
And then one night,
came back?
I'm buying Coke from Sergio Love. And it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And I got to go to fucking Sergio's house to get blow. And I call him, and he says to me, it's in his motorcycle, in his garage. He just go into the motorcycle, stick your hand to the seat, and it's right there waiting for you. So I'm all paranoid as is. I'm coming down from the first package. I get out of my car. I walk into the fucking garage.
Yeah.
I go to the motorcycle. I stick my hand in the thing. As I'm getting ready to walk out, I hear Joe Diaz, and I turn around, and it's that waitress that tried to kill herself. She goes, "Where's Sergio?" I go, I have no fucking idea. She goes, you're here. And I go, listen, I don't know. I just called him. He told me to come and see his motorcycle. And she goes, I'm going to wait right here. So I called him up, and I'm like, dog, what the fuck is that girl doing in your garage, hiding in a dark garage on like a dark street? I forget, Franklin Street. And he's like, bro, that crazy bitch ain't at my house. I'm like, yeah. He goes, that's what you get for fucking around with a white girl. She was crazy. And that's what happened. There was a black manager. There was a black manager at the store.
Really?
And he was banging her. That's why I'm surprised that they took him back and he does spots there now. Because she fucking iced himself over him. She was a white chick from the Midwest that once she seen that black cock, she went crazy than Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? She went fucking bananas.
What I remember is just all the cocaine that they went through the Comedy Store.
There's not
and
that much coke
in
now.
the Dave
No, there's no drugs no
Kinnison
more.
and those guys. I mean, those guys would have parties, and they lived above the Comedy Store. Carl did, and they would have parties where they would be up for fucking just days upon days upon days.
You know, people talk about the war drugs isn't working and stuff like that. It is working. And the plan they had 30 years ago is working
Coke
now.
is way less. It's just not that around anymore.
Well, this whole thing was
it's
that
around.
they had to instill it into kids.
Yeah.
And that's why, when I got to the store, there was still heroin at the store. That kid that OD'd in the back.
Really?
Yeah, with Larry Vizeo and all of that. One kid went TK. Remember? TP or something. He had to go back to Memphis. Those motherfuckers were there at 6. They would come in with the Filipino bartenders and start drinking Bloody Marys. They were banging back there.
Yeah.
So that was the tail end of it.
No,
I did blow, but that was 50-50.
There was a lot
everybody
of it.
did blow. And it's amazing how times have changed. It's not politically accepted no more. Like, when somebody's doing coke around me now, it kind of bothers us. It bothers me, but it doesn't because I can't be a hypocrite. But it's like, even when I did blow, guys, I wouldn't do it at a fucking UFC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there was always a time and a fucking place to do blow. Even at the store, I would do a couple lines and get in my car and get the fuck out of there before shit got
When I started, it was around, and I didn't know what it was though. So I didn't see people doing it, and I had no idea why people were just angry all the time out of nowhere.
They were very
And
impatient.
people were like, "Why are they yelling at me?" I don't understand this at all.
What did you want to do when you were a kid? You never knew you were going to end up doing this shit.
No, but I thought about it a lot. Not a lot, but just thought about just to try to do it once.
Even as a kid.
When I was like in high school and stuff, I was like, maybe I'll do that one day.
Stand up.
Yeah. I did it one time in college. I found an open mic in Maryland or in Northern Virginia.
Can you believe you're where you're at right now? Like, you talk to people, you bump into Dice. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah,
that,
pretty casual.
15 years ago, you were watching Dice with your buddies, giggling, doing his jokes. And now you see him and he invites you over to his
For his
house.
barbecue.
Fucking,
He
for
banned me from his
barbecue
house
and
for a year.
Banned you for a year from his house and
He
shit.
did.
Yeah.
Why did he ban you?
Yeah, why did he ban
For
you?
being creepy. Ari's being creepy. You're banned. Because he said he had a gun. And I was like, you don't have a gun. He goes, I do too. I have this right in this drawer. And I was like, let me see. He goes, nope, bet me $100. I didn't have $100. So I was like, I'm betting you $100. But there's no way you have a gun. He goes, yeah, I keep a loaded gun. I was like, I have never met somebody who loves their kids more than Dice. I've never met anybody who's that protective and that, like, it's all about his kids. And I'm like, there's no way, as good a father as you are, that you have a loaded gun in your pocket. And he's like, all right, well, bet me, otherwise you're not looking. Instead, I went over to the desk like later. We were all in a different room, and I went over there just like, ooh, maybe I'll just look in it. But I hadn't even looked in it yet. And then he came over and was like, you're being creepy. Get out of my house. And he banned me for a year. And he asked Freddie Soto about it. He goes, has he ever been creepy around you? And I'm like, Freddie, please tell him I wasn't doing anything. And Freddie's like, yeah, man, he creeps around. He creeps around here. He's creeped around all sorts of places. That's creepy. And Dice is like, you're banned.
The other day, Joe says, how many guns have you seen pulled in your time? I said, 15, like 3 at me. But when I was a kid in my mother's bar, they would fucking pull guns.
All the time?
All the fucking time.
That was just a move to make?
And my mom would have to get in front of me and don't shoot that in here. I was a little boy. Wow. I seen people pull pieces all the time. You know, thank God that they respected my mother. Like, it's like if I come to, like, where I'm from, and I come to your house, Felicia, and I get into an argument with somebody here, you're not allowed back in that house for years. Even if it was even if I was just sticking up for Felicia, like, that's disrespectful. You're not allowed to argue at somebody's house. But to fucking pull a piece at a bar, like my mother's bar, was really disrespectful. So my mother put a tab on it. But when I was before 10, Jesus Christ, I seen people pull pieces. Jesus Christ. I would sit there and talk, like, I would try to ask my mother the next day, like at breakfast, like, that was fucked up. And she'd say, don't ever talk about it again. It's just something that happened. They were at the wrong place at the wrong time in their lives. Thank God the gun didn't go off or something. You know, that's a scary fucking situation, bro. I don't like a gun on me. Like, people who pack heat, that scares the shit out of me. That's a complete different
realm. There.
It elevates you because now it's like a magnet. You're attracting other magnets. You know, when I packed a gun, every time I went to a party, somebody else was packing a gun.
Yeah.
You know, and then I stopped packing a gun. I would pack a knife, and then the people I'd meet would carry a knife. And one day I said, "Let me not try carrying anything," and nobody has anything. So it's like an attraction for it. If you got a gun, the universe will make you fucking pull it. And I'm the type of guy I'll pull it. That's why I don't like it around me.
I've heard you talk about so many people that you're mad at and say, I'll shoot him in the fucking leg.
Oh, I'll shoot him in the fucking leg.
That's always his revenge fantasy.
That's
I'm going to shoot him in the leg if he's not careful.
You know, there's nothing like, you know,
I'm not going to kill anybody, though.
You know, like I said, I came from an environment where people would pull fucking pieces.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes the piece went off and sometimes it didn't. So you always had to know who you were in the fucking room with. You know what I'm saying? But the people, like, there's truly some people I just can't fucking stand. That you don't want to shoot them and kill them because then that's bad karma. But a shot in the leg never fucking hurt nobody. People still walk around. They still play football after a bullet in the fucking leg, right above the fucking calf there if they're acting up. And they, you know, they take you seriously. I mean, I wouldn't do it now because my life is completely different. When I was a kid, I definitely had revenge fantasies. You know, I definitely had them. It's fucking great to surprise somebody.
Yeah, with a killing.
Fucking great.
Have you ever seen anyone get shot?
Yeah.
How many times?
I seen my stepdad shoot the guy on 148th Street. I seen another buddy of mine empty a fucking gun one night at a bar one night, and he shot like 2 people. You know, not critically injured them. They had it coming to him.
Really?
You know, they were fucking around with him. Yeah, he pulled it and shot it. I have 2 or 3 friends that'll pull. They'll fucking pull it. And if they pull it, you got a problem. There's people who pull it and they put it up in the air and they try to scare you or try to show off in front of your girlfriend. That's a different realm. Those are the people you meet in Beverly Hills and all those guys.
Well, those are the people I'm afraid of.
Right. Those are the fucking moments.
They don't know anything.
No, I'm not afraid of those
crazies.
people because I know if I can know by looking at you, you're going to pull a fucking trigger.
Yeah.
It's the people who are. Those are the people I know who will pull the trigger. And they'll pull it first and then ask questions later. But somebody's on the floor. It's too late.
Yeah.
Somebody's on the floor, you know.
Jesus.
And it's scary. It's a scary thought. But it happens every fucking day. What's that?
I don't have to deal with anything like that.
No, thank God. You don't know how bad it is. You don't know what a bad feeling it is when somebody says to you somebody's been shot. You know, a couple of years ago, a friend of mine got shot by mistake. How do you get shot by mistake? And he really did. He's a family guy. He went to go to a diner and they mistook him for somebody else and shot him 5 times.
Oh,
and
really?
he fucking lived.
Wow.
And
Oh
the
my
stories
God.
that he tells you, he came to a comedy show and he was telling me, he goes, you don't know what it's like to drive. He had a stick and he had to drive himself while he had his hand on his stomach and things were coming out and he was driving and working the stick at the same time. And he didn't stop for a red light, a yellow. He drove himself to the fucking hospital.
Wow.
Dante got shot. Black
Really?
Dante?
Black Dante?
Fuck yeah, look at his leg. He got shot in the leg.
Daryl Wright shot a guy in
Yeah.
the back. He said he was running away and he was trying to give him a warning shot. But I was like, why'd you aim your warning shot at the guy? He was like, I didn't think I'd hit him. Like, why didn't you just shoot up in the air or something?
Did the guy die?
He got paralyzed.
Did that guy go to prison?
Yeah, I went to prison for a while. But he said the guy thanks him now for getting him out of the drug trade, even though he's in a wheelchair. I guess.
See, that's the shit I didn't want to happen.
What?
Like I always had,
around that.
Like I always had a certain respect for life. Like
Yeah.
I knew once you pull that gun out, I know what it is to lose somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and I came fucking 2 inches from pulling a gun on somebody one night that I wanted to really shoot. I came really fucking close. And as I was doing the math, like I was doing the math on the way to the car. And listen, you don't have to be a genius to shoot nobody. That's just on CSI Miami that they catch you.
Yeah.
They don't catch nobody.
Really?
Unless you open your fucking mouth. You don't know how easy it is to ice somebody. You have no fucking idea. Because it happens this quick and that fucking fast. Somebody's drinking coffee at Marie ST. I go there with a 22 and blast them in the head. Nobody will even see it. Unless there's a hero cop sitting there, nobody will even fucking see it. Because it happens too fucking quick. By the time you even know what happens, I'm in the car taking off on Colfax already. Headed to fucking Encino to Cheesecake Factory to eat lunch.
Well, that's one scenario for your afternoon. All right. If you guys would like to email us about any of this craziness we've been talking about, you can email us at beautyandthebeastpodcast@gmail.com. Joey does answer the emails. You're all studly like that.
Yes.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Ari,
You're
for coming.
You're welcome.
And I want to give a word to our sponsors, NOCC 4854 Lancashire, for all your medical marijuana needs, and also TaintedVisions.com. Posters, statuettes, fucking skate, whatever you need, go to TaintedVisions.com right now. Take a look, get some Christmas ideas, do your thing.
If you like Beauty and the Beast, would you please leave a sweet review on iTunes?
And for comedy bookings for Felicia Michaels and Joey Diaz, we have a few open weeks left in 2012. If you'd like to book us for a private function or a comedy club in your area, please contact us at beautyandthebeastpodcast@gmail.com. Besides that, Felicia, anything else for these beautiful people?
Just thank you, Ari. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ari.
It was nice
Let's
talking to
go
you.
get a pastrami sandwich, cocksucker.
See you later.
With the juice. All right, stay black.
Mwah.
Ah.